All right, everybody, welcome back. We are diving deep today into the world of beauty products,
That's right.
which, let's face it, can be super overwhelming.
Totally.
Like you walk into the store and there are like a zillion different options.
Right.
And how are you supposed to know like which ones are actually good for you? And
And which ones are going to work?
exactly.
Right.
So we've got some really interesting sources here all about choosing beauty products wisely.
Yes. And especially focusing on natural ingredients and avoiding all those harmful chemicals that are out there.
Oh my gosh, yes. And that's something that I think is especially important for like our younger listeners,
For sure.
like those of you who are maybe 18 to 25 and like just starting to build your beauty routines.
Yeah, you're just figuring out what works for you and
Right. Because your skin is probably a lot different than, someone who's like 40 or 50.
exactly. Your skin is still changing and,
Yeah.
it's more sensitive.
So it's like extra important to make sure you're using products that are like gentle and good for you.
Yeah, and that's where this whole natural ingredients thing comes in.
Okay, so the sources are really stressing this idea of being like an informed consumer,
Yes.
which I love.
Yeah.
But that means we have to like actually read those product labels.
Yes.
And, they're like
Oh my God.
tiny print
They are.
with like a million ingredients that I can't even pronounce.
I know. It's like a whole science.
Right. So how do we even like begin to decode all of that?
Well, I think the first step is to not get overwhelmed,
Okay.
right? It's baby steps. And just start by looking for some key terms that are going to clue you in to whether or not a product is good for you.
Okay, so like what kind of key terms are we talking about here?
Well, one that comes up a lot is alcohol-free.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
And a lot of people think that means oh, no margaritas.
Right. Like no fun.
Exactly.
But it doesn't mean that.
No, it doesn't mean that at all.
Thank goodness.
What it actually means is that the product doesn't contain certain types of alcohol
Okay.
that can be drying to your skin, like SD alcohol or ethanol.
Okay, so those are the bad guys.
Those are the bad guys when it comes to alcohol.
Got it.
But there are also fatty alcohols, which can actually be moisturizing.
Oh, so it's like ingredients have alter egos or something.
Right? It's so confusing.
Yeah, like how are we supposed to keep all of this straight?
I know. But once you start to learn a few of these key terms, it gets easier. I promise.
Okay, I'm trusting you.
All right, so another one to look out for is vegan.
Okay.
And that one's pretty straightforward, I think.
Yeah, I think most people know what vegan means.
Right. It means no animal products were used in making the product.
Right.
And also no animal testing.
Which is something that I think a lot of people care about these days.
Absolutely.
Like they want to make sure that their beauty products are cruelty-free.
Exactly. And cruelty-free basically means the same thing as vegan in terms of no animal testing at any stage of production.
Okay, so it's not just about like what works for our skin.
No.
It's also about like our values
Exactly.
and making choices that align with those values.
Wow. Yes, and I think that's super important, especially for young people who are really starting to define who they are and what they stand for.
Absolutely.
And another thing to keep in mind is that everyone's skin is different.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What works for your best friend might not work for you.
Right, like I have super dry skin,
Okay.
but my sister has like oily skin.
Right, so you're going to need totally different products.
Exactly.
So it's really about figuring out your own skin type, any sensitivities you might have,
Okay.
and then looking for ingredients that address those specific needs.
Okay, so basically we need to become like beauty detectives.
Yes.
Investigating our own skin and finding the perfect products.
I love that.
All right, so to recap, natural ingredients are our friends.
Yes,
Decoding labels is key.
absolutely.
And choosing products that reflect our values is a total power move.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Awesome. Well, I think we've armed everyone with a lot of great information.
I hope so.
But before we go, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay. I like it.
Now that you know how to read labels,
Yeah.
what's one